it can be so frustrating when we look back on our lives and begin to realize, like, oh my God, I was just talking to a lady yesterday. She's like, I have been struggling with my weight for 20 years. Now, it hasn't all been this like terrible struggle all day long, every day. Of course, there's periods of relief due to, whatever diet or just focused on other things. But she's like, really, it's been on my mind pretty much daily and a frustration for decades. I'm like, I totally get that. And on some level, we have to question, like, why? Why? Like, what? On some level, it's kind of crazy to like be struggling with something for so long. Sometimes we just kind of give up a little bit, where it's like, well, I guess this is just the way that it's going to be. But yet we continue to see people who talk about having some semblance of freedom. The weight is no longer this heaviness on their mind, consuming their daily hours and fogging all of their relationships. It's no longer this heaviness on their shoulders, always taking care of other people. They learn some tips and tricks and techniques along the way to put themselves on the top of that priority list. They're no longer carrying that weight inside of their hearts and the past frustrations or failures or whatever we want to call them, mistakes. And they're no longer carrying the weight on their body. There's a lightness, like a pep in their step. People talk about having transformations like this, and it's inspiring. It's exciting. It gives us a little bit of hope. And yet, having a little bit of hope when there's been personal years of frustration can almost feel worse. It can almost just a little bit feel like, don't get your hopes up too high, because what if it doesn't work out, or what if you fail, or what if, whatever. And the thing is, the reality is, ladies, you can't connect the dots forwards. You can only connect the dots backwards. So let's have a cool little chart here. So if here we are, here's us with our little smiley face, right? And say where we want to go is like up here. Now, this star represents peace of mind around food, tranquility, food being like a hot shower. One of my coaches said that analogy the other day, and I was like, that is genius. Like, how awesome is a hot shower first thing in the morning, or if you're a night shower or whatever it is, like having a hot shower is almost magical. Like, it's such a wonderful experience. I enjoy the heck out of it while I'm in it, but I never think about a hot shower during the day. Right? I mean, maybe if I'm exhausted and I've gone for a walk, or I don't know, whatever, something like that, it's like, oh, that sounds like a good idea. But there's not the same kind of mental obsession that women who struggle with their weight and emotional eating, binge eating, overeating, sugar addiction, that kind of stuff. It's not the same, right? So like, how do we get our food to be like a hot shower where you enjoy the frick out of it while it's happening, but then get to go on with your day while it's not happening? So this here really is sustained maintenance weight. This is feeling comfortable and confident in your body, whatever that weight ends up being. It's typically not an exact number, because human bodies are just not really like that. They like to have a little bit of flexibility. Like, we're designed to hold a little bit of weight, lose a little bit of weight, hold a little bit of weight. So like a couple pounds, here and there is actually normal. But so how do we mentally allow our body to do what it needs to do without beating ourselves up, or having to restrict, or go on crazy diets, or be obsessed with it? This is the ideal. This is the happy, the healthy, the joyous, the free, the maintenance weight range, right? The good relationship with food, enjoying food while we're eating it, but not being obsessed. And it's like, all right, well, cool. Like, let's go there. Let's go there. And another thing that I really want to really hone in is that direction is way more important than speed. I get that we all just want to flash our lights and be there. But the reality is, once we end up here, now this is our new little spot. And of course, there's going to be another little arrow place to go, because that's the joy of life, right? It's like, there's always another adventure to go on. But let's stay focused on this particular adventure of the weight loss and feeling really good in our bodies. So the importance of direction over speed. Because listen, I mean, it's funny that it's called speed, and there are certain drugs out there also called speed, right? That can certainly increase the momentum towards a type of a goal. When I'm talking about having peace of mind, you can't get peace of mind with drugs, right? Because there's always a come down from that. So it's got to be something different. You can't get it from starving yourself. You can't get it from going on cleanses. You can't get it from having, finally getting to some magical number if you haven't had the little roadblocks along the way and learned how to get over them or around them or move through them or dissolve them. There are things along the way that we need to learn. We have to become somebody different as we are cruising along on that journey. We have to shed who we were to become who we are becoming. That person who lives their life happy and healthy and joyous and free within a regular weight range, enjoying the heck out of their food while they're having it and not thinking about it in between meals. If that has not been your experience for years and or decades, it's going to take some unlearning. It's going to require that you unlearn some things. So there's things that are going to need to drop off along the way, and there's things that are going to need to be learned along the way. And you have to go in that direction. So again, direction is way more important than speed, right? If you want to go really quick and just lose the weight, but go in that direction, away from the sanity piece of it. Whew, I mean, we've all done it. We've all done it. We've all done crash diets. We've all done wild things like that. That seemed like a really freaking good idea at the time. I remember one time I lost 30 pounds in 30 days, and I was like, I'm a magical human being. I felt like nothing could ever stop me. I was high, clearly. So that come down from that was not pretty and not fun. And that crazy out of controlness that I felt is the same as when you do like cleanses or juices or fasting or anything like that. It's like so hard to get the body back into balance after that and not have those crazy food thoughts and cravings. While you're on the cleanse, you feel fine. And then you think, oh, I should just do another one and another one and another one and another one. And it's like totally crazy making, ladies, crazy making. Okay, so let's cruise on in the direction that we want to go. So when it comes to the gentleness that is needed to really move towards that star, right? Because we don't want to, like, there's no way that we can create a healthy relationship with our body and with food with all the self-deprivation, the angry chatter, the needing to, the blaming and shaming ourselves, the being frustrated and angry and disappointed, the negative talk to ourselves. Like it's not going to happen. Like that's not how you build a healthy, positive relationship. Like it's got to be gentle. The words need to be compassionate. The feelings need to be gentle. So one of the ways that we can begin to go towards that star is when we understand that staying the same, it protects us from the unknown. This journey is unknown, right? Like if you're not there, then and you're here, then you haven't been on the journey. And it can be super fearful. Like, well, what do I need to let go of? And what do I need to start doing? And it just seems like a lot. That's so many steps. Like, where do I even start? Woo! And the fear of the unknown can really honestly paralyze us. Share with you a little trick, a mind trick, because really it's all in the mind, right? Like all of the anxiety, all of the frustration, all of the food chatter and body chatter and all of that stuff, it really is just our body responding to the chatter in the mind. So how do we create an environment inside of our mind that is conducive to being gentle and compassionate and supporting us along our journey and our way? And one of the ways that we do that is to make the unknown known. I just gave you a couple of hints, right? When I talked about it being a warm shower or a warm bath, when I talked about this place up here, having peace of mind around food. So you're beginning to comprehend and understand and rehearse and play and create images and ideas, and maybe some feelings are attached to it, like, gosh, what is she talking about? Is that possible? Oh, I remember having that years ago. Oh my God. Do other people actually, is that possible after 3 decades of struggling and suffering to like actually have some peace of mind around food, to feel good in my body, to like just relax a little bit? I'm here to tell you, yes, it is a little bit of a journey. This is how we're going to make it easier. We're going to make the unfamiliar and the unknown known. And the way in which we do that is by rehearsing that which what we actually want. And remember, you got to be really clear with your mind when you are creating your vision and you're going in that direction. You're creating some familiarity around what those feelings would be like, what those sounds would be like. Like, how would you be talking to yourself if there was no more struggle, if there was no more judgment? What would you actually be saying to yourself if you didn't have to be annoyed with the way that your pants fit, right? What would be happening? What would you be thinking about if you didn't have to think about losing weight anymore? If you weren't thinking about what meal was next because you already knew it was already taken care of, what would you be thinking about? It's like, whoa, oh my goodness, let's try that. So as we become more gentle with ourselves with some visualization, this is where the hypnosis comes in really powerfully and really strong, because in a state of relaxation, we don't have any of the anxiety and the dramas and the traumas, and we're in a relaxed state, and we can begin to rehearse that which what we actually want, and it becomes more familiar. So every time that you imagine it, it goes into the same place in the brain if something actually happened. So it's a memory, right? Whether it actually happened or you just thought about it happening, it gets stored in the same place in the brain as a memory. So the more that you rehearse it, you add some feeling, you add some intensity, you add some sounds, you add some emotion, you add some color, you add some music in the background, you invigorate it, you give it some life. And the more that you do that, and the more that you do that, and the more that you do that, the more it becomes familiar. And so we're no longer have a fear of the unknown. Now we know what we're going towards. Is it going to be the smoothest ride? For some of us, it really is, right? It's like, oh my God, I did, all I needed was the vision and boom, I'm there. And for some of us, we're like, oh, I got some baggage to let go of first. So maybe I need a little bit of help. And that's really one of the places where group coaching and or one-on-one coaching with a health coach, someone who's been there before, who understands the roadblocks, who can help you move through them and past them. And in the group coaching, it's just, oh my God, it's honestly the best thing in the world. I got so much help from me attending group coachings. And now that I'm the facilitator of group coachings, it's so phenomenal, because every single time that a woman says, shares a little bit of her experience, and then we get to hear it, it's like it normalizes our own experience. It's like, oh my God, I'm not the only one. Or when someone says, you know what, I found this really beneficial. It's like, oh my God, I didn't even think about that. I was so stressed out. I didn't even think about that. Thank you so much. So we get this support and this guidance and this help along the way, along this journey, so that again, we're taking just one step at a time. Remember, direction is more important than speed. And as we continue along this journey together, it gets a little bit easier and a little bit easier as we get closer and closer to what is becoming more and more familiar, which is achieving our goal, this peace of mind, feeling good in our bodies. Okay. So this was a lot, you guys. This was an incredible amount of value. I would hope that you rewatch this. Let me know that you found some value, that you found something interesting by giving me a comment below. If you have a question that I can address on something specific going on for you, let me know. I want to know. A lot of these things that I bring up with you guys each week is stuff that comes up with my private clients in my private or my group coaching. And I'm like, oh my God, that's right. Somebody else needs to hear this and needs to know this, because we are all on this beautiful journey together. So much love for you. I hope you're having an amazing day. Remember to leave me a like and a comment, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.